Welcome back to the Detroit Lions, Fonza. It's been a pretty long offseason. A lot of moves have been made. We're down to our 53-man roster. They may make a couple more moves. But what I must say that I'm really impressed with what I saw through the preseason. Stafford's looking good. The defense is really coming together. Still got a couple issues in the back end. We'll see how that works out as the season progresses. We got Delmas and Houston back there. I'm not sure who our other corner when Alfonso Smith will be back. So we'll see how that turns out as far as the back end goes. But our offense is definitely shaping out what I thought it would be. Burleson's looking really good, so he's definitely a great foil for Calvin for that second receiver spot. And then Titus Young, we haven't seen too much of him, but from what I've seen, he doesn't look too bad so far. And we've got some other guys. Stovall looked pretty good in the preseason too, so I'm glad we decided to keep him around. Well, let me get on with my picks, and then we'll get a little more into that. And first, you have the Saints in Green Bay, which will be in Lambeau, of course. I'm not sure what to expect right now, especially with the short off season and everything. But I'm gonna have to go with Green Bay. I'm gonna go with the home team here. But I think it should be a relatively close game. I think it should be within 10 points. I'm gonna go with Green Bay in that one, and then you have Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Always a hard-hitting game. It's always a good way to. That's a good way to start the season after a long off season like that. So that's going to be a good game, but I got to go with Pittsburgh. They're looking really good on all cylinders right now. Offense, defense, you name it. Got their run game going, got the pass down. And then you have Atlanta and Chicago. Chicago's a little shaky on that offensive line, but they managed to do some magic with very questionable offensive line last year, so I won't put that too much on them. But I'm going to have to go with Atlanta. I don't think should be relatively close also, but I'm going to have to go with Atlanta in that game. It really depends on Chicago's offensive line, really, what's going to happen in that game there. And then you have Cincinnati and Cleveland. They're both kind of in a rebuilding stage, but I'm really not sure what to expect out of Cincinnati right now, so I'm going to have to go with Cleveland. And then you have Indy and Houston. I'm not sure Peyton's going to be playing. We all know the story with that right now, bringing in Kerry Collins and all that good stuff. I'm going to have to go with Houston because I'm really not sure. Even if Peyton does play or Kerry plays, I just don't know if Peyton would be in flow, and I'm really not sure what to expect. I'm going to have to go with Houston here to get that 1-0 start. And then you have Tennessee and Jacksonville, yet another division game. Chris Johnson came back. Let's see here. It's a tough call. I'm going to have to go with Tennessee right there, though, but it's a tough call. Then you have Buffalo and the Chiefs. I will say Buffalo's looking pretty good. Ryan Fitzpatrick's been really moving that offense and looking like they might actually try and do something this year. But they do have a tough division, so I don't expect them to win the division, no doubt, like anything like that. But I do expect them to get some wins. And Chiefs' offense has been looking shaky, but they got a very hard defense. So, wow, that's a tough game to pick. But I'm gonna go with if you want to call it an upset, I'm gonna have to go with Buffalo. But I think it's going to be a close one, but I got to go with Buffalo. They just got more spark on that offense right now. They're looking pretty sharp. Then you have Philadelphia and Rams. Rams are looking very good, but I got to go with the Eagles. It's just a lot of power, but we'll see how they do. But that's a game I can't wait to see. Then of course you got Detroit and Tampa Bay rematch. We pretty much knocked them out of the playoffs last year, so I'm pretty sure they have some hard feelings on that one, and I'm looking forward to this game. And really comes down to if we can get Freeman down, because we had trouble getting him down last time. Not to mention they got a lot of screen stuff and a lot of their run games. Their linebackers really have to buckle down, and we need to make tackles. I think it will be a close game, but I think the Lions will pull this one off. Got a lot of firepower on offense, and not to mention our front with Sue and then Nick Fairley and Kyle Vandenbosch really haven't been there, so we haven't really seen the front at its fullest. So I'm going to go with Detroit here. Probably around 10-point game. Could be. I'm going to go with the 10-point game. And then you have Carolina and Arizona. I'm going to have to go with Arizona right now. Carolina, they're in that another rebuilding team right now, but we'll see how Cam Newton does. Nothing spectacular out of the preseason, but I think he's definitely the guy who should be starting. But I'm going to have to go with Arizona right now. Then you have Minnesota and San Diego. Vikings, AP, he's being Adrian Peterson. He's looking pretty good. They got Donovan McNabb at the helm right now. Defense, I guess they need to come together a little bit and play. San Diego tends to have those slow starts. Tough call, but I think I'm going to go with Minnesota for the win here, but this should be a close game. But then again, San Diego's got a lot to prove. Well, it isn't San Diego. Yeah, wow. Tough game. Oh, I'm going to go with Chargers just because they're at home, but they do usually have a slow start, but we'll see what happens. I might be wrong, but I'll go with the Chargers. Then you got the 49ers and Seahawks. I'm not sure what to expect out of these. The Seahawks, they did something on their last preseason game, but well, this is a tough call. I don't know what to expect out of these two teams right now, but I guess I'll go with Seattle. I'm going to go with Seattle this one, but man, that's probably the hardest game to pick right there. That's a flip, but I'll just say Seattle, but that's a flip for me. And then you have the Giants and Washington. Washington's actually been looking okay. They're especially at quarterback. I didn't expect them to come out looking as good as they have, but I'm gonna have to go with the Giants right now. Even though they've been a little, it was the preseason, but they did seem a little odd. But I'm gonna have to go with the Giants right now. And then you have Dallas and the Jets. This should be a good game. Got the defenses, and then you got especially the Jets defense. They're always, they're gonna come to play some defense. And then, well, I'm gonna have to go with Dallas. I really think they're gonna take this. It's gonna be good though. Kind of a tough call, but it's just because a lot of these games, it's just the off season and all. You just not as much in flow as a lot of teams would be at this point. So it's kind of hard to predict what a lot of these teams are going to be like, especially coming out from their first few preseason games they had. But I'm gonna have to go with Dallas there, and then you got New England and Miami. Another kind of it's a division game. You just never know what to expect. Miami usually plays New England pretty good, but I think I'm gonna go with New England. They'll probably go 1-1 this year. I think New England will take the first one. Miami may come back and get them the second time. We'll see how they're playing, how both teams are playing when it gets up to that point. I'm gonna take New England here, and then you have Oakland and Denver. Another division game. These teams seem to go back and forth. One time Denver will smash Oakland, and then it will be vice versa. I really don't know what to expect out of this game. But Oakland did sweep the division last year, so maybe they have something to prove again. But we'll see here. I'm gonna go with Denver. Oakland does seem to have a couple of issues at their offensive line right now, and I think Denver is ready to play. So that's how I see it wrapping up for week 1. And leave your comments and tell me what you guys think. And go Lions.